So I am here making this video to tell you that it does not have to be this way. Good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Karina and I am an SLPA sharing my family, speech, and lifestyle here on YouTube. I am currently getting ready for work and I thought, hey, I've been really excited about like my findings. While I can't share all of the details with you, I can tell you that we often do push-in, and so I'll kind of go more into detail about that, tell you what that looks like, give you an example. Once I finish getting ready for work here, I can share more with you all. All right, so before I leave, I like to get some one-on-one time with my kids every morning. And for me, that means bringing out our Lovevery toys. Both kids have their own play kit subscription, and I really enjoy these boxes just because I know that they're playing with items that are both age appropriate and for their developing brain. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm also pretty big on reading. I aim to read 5 books a day with my kids. V here has her own and Rio has his own set. Again, Lovevery includes this in every one of their play kits, and it's meant for their specific age. Truly, this was the item I was most excited about because I get to include this in their homeschool activities too. He's just learning so much at such an early age, and that's what excites me. So I do encourage you to become a play kit subscriber and learn more about Lovevery using the link in the description box. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm defining as a high caseload. I'm gonna say about 80 students is where it begins to get difficult. This is for me and from my personal experience. I think about 80 students that I need to provide speech services for. A lot of the times it's not gonna be that one time per week throughout the grading period. When you're thinking of 80 plus kids, a lot of them, probably about half of them, are gonna be 2 times per week. Now, when you're thinking of the time it's going to take you to take data, the time it's going to take you to maybe put in that data somewhere, send out progress reports, maybe contact parents, and do additional duties that are included in the everyday life for an SLPA, it begins to get overwhelming. And I find that around that 80, 85 student caseload, things get hard. And that's when I start to kind of not enjoy the job. While you do still have to meet all these times, right? There's a lot of stuff that you need to think about outside of just speech therapy. Maybe you're taking a lot of time to plan and stuff. So I'm gonna define that high caseload at 80 students for the purpose of this video. So I am here making this video to tell you that it does not have to be this way. And I wish I knew this sooner. Kind of like the traditional way to do speech therapy, right? For me has always been the pull-out services. That's where you are going into a classroom, any grade level, and I am speaking with the teacher in advance about a good time to pull out these students, something that works for them, something that works out for my schedule as well. And so I'm going in, maybe taking out 1, 2, 3 kids max from a classroom, and I'm pulling them out to a like defined area once or 2 times a week to do speech therapy for 30 minutes or more. And then I typically walk them back to class, and then they are in class for the rest of the day. So that's what a traditional day in my life would look like where I'm providing speech services. For the high caseload, I highly recommend doing push-in, and I highly recommend doing this for at least 1 class. Maybe this would be like where you have life skills, or where you would typically call like a special ed classroom or a inclusion sort of classroom. Here's where I recommend you do push-in and maybe do a small group that consists about 2, 3, maybe 4 kids that you're seeing inside the classroom, or it could also be the entire classroom that you're providing speech services for. Now, in this case, I think this is the most beneficial because number one, you're saving time, right? Let's say in one classroom, you're seeing 10 kids and the total in that classroom is like 12 kids. So that means there's only 2 kids in there who are not getting speech services. I think it's more beneficial to just do the entire classroom at that point. And for me, I find that the benefits are so much greater than any negatives that you might be getting out of this. So the number one thing is definitely the time, right? So you're carving out maybe 45 minutes to an hour for push-in services. And so what this looks like is you are, again, going into the classroom, you are kind of taking over the classroom for this 45-minute to an hour period, and you are solely there to provide speech services. I've found that when I have to do pull-out services, there's always at least 1 to 2 groups that I'm concerned about. Maybe for transitioning out of the classroom, maybe they have the tendency to run away from me while I'm trying to provide speech services. Maybe they have the tendency to scream or kick when you are pushing into the classroom. A lot of the time, the teachers are there to help you. Imagine like if little Johnny won't sit down, then the teacher's on the side saying, Miss Sanchez is here to do speech. You need to take a seat right now. And that is helping me tremendously because that is no longer taking away from my speech therapy time. And I'm not having to sit there and redirect somebody over and over and over and over. Maybe there's a teacher and a teacher aide who's there to help me out and get them situated, making sure that they are on task. So that's another big benefit. Number 3, I just think it's great to model language for everybody in the classroom. I think one of the things that comes to mind when you're thinking like you're nervous, it sounds intimidating, you're thinking that not all of these goals are going to match, right? If I'm providing speech therapy for 12 kids again, then chances are like a lot of them are going to be language, maybe a few will be artic, maybe a few will be social skills. So how in the world am I going to do all of that in one speech session? And it's fairly easy when you have kind of like everything planned out for that session. It typically works out well because again, that language is being modeled across the board. If I'm working on like language for a set group of students in there and I know their goals already, while I'm doing an activity, for example, I might pause and take my time with little Johnny, who I know is working on the F sound, and I might have him repeat some words for me. Because again, the more you get familiar with your students and you know their goals, it becomes easier, right? Another big pro to pushing into the classroom is that these teachers are getting to see exactly what you're doing, right? They're observing you, they're taking part, they're engaging in your speech therapy session, and they're able to see exactly what you're working on with who, and they're able to carry over all of this into the classroom. I think this is also a great time to talk to the teachers about a specific student's progress, maybe say, hey, is he not feeling well because he's not performing well today? And they're able to see that right there. It's also a good time if you have any consult services. That's the perfect time to do that. It has been a game changer for me. Again, I can't believe I didn't do this before. It makes me feel so inefficient. I, worked with all grade levels in the past. Like, why had I not thought about this sooner? I'm thinking of an example to give you guys, and because we are in October, something you could do for Halloween, a lot of books. So if you know me as a mother, I love reading to my kids. I find that that's just the easiest way to increase their vocabulary. Seriously, reading 5 books a day is so helpful, and your kid will know like a million words by the age of 5 if you're reading 5 books every single day. So I highly encourage you to do that. But aside from me reading books as a mother, I find that it's really important when you're doing speech therapy as well. You're working on, just one, staying on task, maybe social skills, attending to a book, so many things. So A good example, like a push-in session, would be starting out with a book. You have everyone kind of sit around and you're reading an entire book. Maybe it's about Halloween, since again, we are in October right now. And then after the book, or throughout the book, pause and talk about the pictures. Ask different students questions depending on what their goals are for speech therapy. Maybe you have 2 or 3 activities planned, and depending on the level of these students, for the kids that you are going to push in to provide speech therapy for, maybe that might look like you're doing centers. Maybe you're pulling these kids, so the group of 12 that we talked about, maybe you're making 3 groups of 4, and that way you get to maybe have the teachers help out, and you're getting to see 1 group at a time, and then another 4, and then another 4. And that's kind of a way that you can take data in that time. Instead, maybe if you're not doing centers, maybe you're just having 1 large activity and everyone's sitting at the table, or maybe everyone's sitting on the floor and you're doing some sort of craft where the teachers can help you out and they're following directions and you're modeling words and sentences, maybe using sentence strips. There's so many things you can do. I find that typically just having a book and some activities planned does it for you. I know, again, it can be extremely intimidating. I know I was intimidated at first. I was like, oh, I'm not a teacher. I don't know how to plan. How am I going to go in? I was scared of like the teachers watching me, teachers looking at what I'm doing. But seriously, when you think about the benefits of this and pushing into the classroom, like getting everybody on board and involved, I think if you're just trying it out with at least 1 of your classes, again, maybe the class where you're seeing the most students, I think it could save you a lot of time. And you're going to have that extra time to contact parents, to do your data sheets, to do progress notes, to do all the things that you should be doing and really do your job. You know what I mean? I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure to give my video a like and subscribe to my channel as well. It'll mean so much to me. I will catch you in my next one. Bye.